You're someone with a vision for your practice, for your side hustle, and for your personal journey. But when it comes to establishing your path on how to get to where you want to be with your practice, things get a little messy. You're also someone who'd prefer to go in person instead of to groups and listening to everyone else's story. To me, it sounds like you could benefit from one-on-one consulting with our experienced practice of the practice consultants. From $5.95 a month and up, you can work with a consultant that will give you more direction and practical tried and tested tips matched to you and your goals. For more information, visit practiceofthepractice.com/apply. Again, that's practiceofthepractice.com/apply. This is the Practice of the Practice podcast with Joe Sanok, session number 1379. I'm Joe Sanok, your host, and welcome to the Practice of the Practice podcast, where we help you build a thriving private practice you absolutely love. Now, you may have been following us that we've been building Great Lakes online counseling. We're in week 17. We just made our first hire, and I'm here with Jen, who is our virtual assistant brought to us by Ubuntu. Jen, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. So we got some things to cover. Last time we talked about you being able to talk with Tom from Session Sites, us getting the Trello board set up, the contracts, LastPass, all of that, and the calendar all set up. So you've also got a bunch else that we need to kind of stay on track with. So where should we start?
Sure. So just to give you an update, I did meet with Rachel. So we had our onboarding meeting where we just got to know each other a little bit better.
Our
Told her
first hire, Rachel.
yes. Told her what my role is, just to give her a little bit more of a background, and then gathered some information, basically just like getting her photo, a bio, her specialties, just so that we can start adding that onto the website. But before we do that, I know you mentioned you wanted to have an intake email address. That hasn't been set up yet, so I can't really move forward with the website until that is done.
Oh, okay. So let's do that live. Let me go into the admin because so I'm going into the admin for Great Lakes Online Counseling. All right, and those that are listening, you just let me log in first, and then I'll kind of walk people through where to go for this. All right, so when I am in here, if I go to my dashboard, which is on the left, then in there, I should be able to see all of the different emails. And so I'm going to go to directory and then users and then Jen. So in Jen, I can scroll down to alternative emails and we have, okay, wait. No, I see what I did. Wait, I can give the user up to 30 alternative emails at no extra cost. They still sign in with their primary email. And so it has intake at in here. And then we have Jen at and intake at. So let me send an email to intake at and see if that shows up in yours.
Perfect.
All right. So we're just doing a test email. All right. All right, so we're testing that. So in the Great Lakes email, it should pop up somewhere in there.
Okay, I will wait for it to reload. We don't have to waste time waiting for that, so we can move on, and then I'll let you know if it comes through.
Sounds good. Perfect.
In regards to onboarding Rachel, obviously we had to get our Headway account set up. So there were some steps in an email that was sent to you just to create an admin account. And my understanding, I think this is also where we can have a little bit of a discussion. So my understanding is basically like obviously you and I have access to Headway, and I was thinking that the clinician would also, because how else are they going to manage their calendar? How are they going to see, the schedule and everything? And
Yeah.
Jordan got back to me from Headway to say that they can invite the clinicians. It would be on basically like the limited access version, but she doesn't want to go ahead and
Mhm.
do that until she confirms with you that you've got the green light to add Rachel.
So that's where they would like do their progress notes, do all the scheduling, all that sort of stuff would be in one central place.
That's Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I was like a little bit confused as to why you had to get the go ahead if we needed to open the account on Rachel, because then how else is Rachel going to get in there and do her stuff?
Right, right. So I think the average group practice has all their folks in there. So, yeah, so I'll go through and I'll get the headway things set up as part of my hours this week. And then, yeah, then once that's all set up, then Rachel can definitely get her own account within it as a clinician for Great Lakes Online Counseling.
Correct. Perfect. So I have set mine up. Just need when
Okay.
you have your time to set yours up, and then once that happens, then we can get Rachel onto that, and then obviously that's when she needs to add in all of her, clinical information, her degrees, all of that information that you would need, and obviously like the insurance that Great Lakes is going to accept.
Okay. Great. So I'm thinking that there's probably going to be things like this that rather than email me or text me, if you want to just put in my calendar, like when you see openings, you can just put like work on Trello tasks, or like Joe, I need you to like check the headway email so that if there's things that are urgent, like feel free to just drop those in wherever you see any openings in my calendar.
Perfect. I will definitely do that. Okay, so we've discussed that. Then I see here you put a discussion item that says follow text for clients.
All right, let's see what that is. So that's in the Trello board.
Yes, under the to discuss.
All right, so to discuss. Oh, let me wait. Look at this AI. So it's an AI tool that I wanted to discuss.
Sure.
But then when I open that link, it goes to a dead link. Let me look into what that was. Because I think that was someone I interviewed on the podcast. That it could be a tool that we use, but if it's going to a dead link, we probably
Yes.
want to make sure it's an active company. Um, so
Sure.
I'll dig into that a little bit more to figure out why that's a dead link.
I tried and I got to something.
Oh, okay. Follow text for clients. Oh, I know what that one was. So I was looking at the AI one. Sorry, the follow for text. So that like follow up texts. I think that we want to look in Headway. Like, do they have the ability to like do follow up texts, or maybe after the third session, do like a survey, to just make sure that we have like good quality like user experience follow up with people. So I think it's more of like a just having that lens as we onboard into Headway with Rachel.
Perfect. I can definitely look into that for you. And while we have the onboarding, that email did come through.
Oh, good. So intake at is working.
Yes, correct.
Good deal.
Okay, so that's sorted. Then we have social media. So I have
Yes, let's
gone
talk
and
social.
opened, yeah, I've gone and opened up all those accounts, and then I went and created like a simple content calendar, just with some ideas. And like one week you do a reel, one week you do a post, one week you do engaging content. So to start with, I think it would be beneficial to do basically like an introductory little video, literally 30 seconds of yourself, just explaining who you are, what Great Lakes does, and that can be posted across all platforms, just as the starting board, and then from
Yeah,
there we can, just post any post that you approve once I've created it.
cool.
Perfect.
And then were you able to start TikTok, or is that one that's one that I need to start, right?
I think you did. You
Yeah,
sent
yeah,
me
I
the link
started
for
that
that.
one. Yeah.
Yes.
So I put some stuff in TikTok already. But then the other ones, yeah. So the best way for me to upload those videos, is it easiest for me to directly upload them or for us to have like a shared folder that I put them in?
Actually, on one of the items here, on your Joe to do, it was to look into that iPhoto. Because I know we have created a shared drive where we can put things in, but I know you mentioned you were going to do some research on the iPhoto.
Oh yeah, for people that don't have a Mac computer, was it?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Yeah, let me look into that more. So I've got my to-do list there. So the HIPAA contract for clinical, we put that into the full just contract. So that's done. And then I need to open the headway, look into the iPhoto. The Google Maps, yeah, we have to figure out how to do the Google Maps when we're online. I may have to like rent an office for a bit to do that, but that's gonna be a longer term thing probably.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I realized and I saw that they recommend not putting in a like rental office or a hiring space. You can
Okay.
put your own location and it is not public. So you have a
Oh,
setting that no one can see the location. It's just to get verified on Google Business.
oh, so I can do my home address, but it just won't show that on the Google Maps.
That's correct,
Oh,
yes.
sweet. Perfect.
So that's, yeah. And then
Thanks for looking into that.
no problem. And like you mentioned earlier, just putting in like Joe to review Trello tasks. One of the tasks that I'll put there is to just review like a draft SOP that I've created for clinician onboarding. So what I
Hmm.
find is that some SOPs are way too detailed, way too long that you actually just lose what you're doing and you just get confused. So I've tried to make this as simple as possible with just a step by step and what the purpose of that step is. So once you've looked through it, you've given me your feedback, I can go ahead and just make that the final one and add all of those SOPs into our shared drive folder.
A year from today, what would your dream private practice look like? Would you spend less time chasing claims or only working with clients who value your skill set? What if you had a network to reach out to for questions or free continuing ed? What if you had more time for yourself? Alma empowers you to confidently accept insurance backed by an all-in-one EHR that simplifies scheduling, documentation, and day-to-day practice operations. With a network of engaged providers and free CE resources, Alma makes it easy for you to build the practice of your dreams on your terms. Alma believes that when therapists get the support they need, mental health care gets better for everyone. Learn more about Alma at helloalma.com/Joe. Your dream practice is closer than you think. Get started now at helloalma.com/Joe. That's helloalma.com/Joe. Yeah, let's look at that live since we have some time, and then we can move forward on that. It looks like I need access to it still, so I just requested access to it.
Sure. So basically, I've just gone from what we have experienced so far. So let me just give you access and then I'll explain it. Okay, so while it's loading and I'll give you access, just to like summarize, basically what I have done is, so the way that we went about the process was you obviously do your interviewing process, you hire the clinician, and from there you make an
Mm-hmm.
introductory email to, for an example, now it would be me, but in the SOP it is stated as your virtual assistant. And
Mm-hmm.
from there, the virtual assistant takes over in terms of setting up an introductory meeting where the clinician and the virtual assistant will meet each other. And in that meeting, they'll obviously just give a bit of background. It's always nice to share things and not just always have like a work front. It's nice to have that communication and,
Yeah.
that little bit of personal side to it. So basically in there, the virtual assistant will discuss like timelines, expectations, the clinician's calendar and availability, the way that they like to communicate. So do they prefer email? Do they prefer iMessage? how will they inform me, for an example, if they have to take the day off? Um, will I
Mm.
go ahead and cancel all those sessions for them, or do they do that on their own? So it's just like the process and the way that they prefer to do things and what would be required of me in that case. Um, just checking you have access. I did give it to you.
All right, let's jump in there and double check. All right, there it is. Cool.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm looking at Great Lakes Online Counseling, clinician onboarding process, standard operating procedure. So we have step one, what you're saying. I introduce the new clinician to you, and then the VA takes over, welcomes the clinician, and then an onboarding meeting. So we have, so we might want to do, even before step one, we might want to have like the list of things like having the onboarding contract signed. Like, what does Joe need to do before the introduction? So I
Sure.
would add that to it. I would like verify. So maybe even before that offer, it might be the VA or the hiring person, so that could be me, verifies their license. And so, for example, if their resume says that they're a counselor, they're licensed in Pennsylvania, that I think probably having the VA do some of that like double checking would make sense. So I
Sure.
think that would be even pre-offer. And so kind of walking through what we did with Rachel, like checking with the references. So usually that would be me or eventually a hiring person that's checking the references. I think early on I want to be kind of the final check there. And I'm sure I have some things written down that we can add to that too,
Okay.
from when I onboarded her. Let's see. I think, yeah, even making sure that we get her CAQH and NPI number. Those are two things. Making sure that she's there, or that they're in CAQH already. I'm just looking at my notes from Rachel. Yeah, I think those are the big things before. Um,
Okay.
and then yeah, then it would go to step one or two. So that's kind of pre-onboarding.
Okay.
Introductory onboarding meeting, um, intro meeting, review onboarding, timelines, questions. Do we want to, for step two, have them already send their picture and kind of do all those things too? Or do we want to have that be, oh, I see that's like step three within 1 week. So
So
professional
yeah.
bio. So for the professional bio, one thing I think that we'll want to make sure they do is that they know to write it from a client-centric point of view. So, for example, I love helping clients that are dealing with depression and anxiety after a divorce. Instead of starting with like, I'm Joe, I went to Western Michigan University, and then I got this degree, and I got this degree, that it's really centered around their ideal client. And doing it from that perspective that Great Lakes Online Counseling has. And so we'll probably need to rewrite some of those bios, and I think that's going to be something that, like, you learn as we talk what kind of the style that we want. And I know that also Tom at Session Sites kind of has that lens too. Headshots and photos, some best practices there is just to make sure they know, like, don't pick a picture from a wedding where you've cropped somebody out. Like, no cropped out photos. Try to have it be with the background kind of blurry or portrait mode. Usually good natural light outside looks a little bit better. So those are all things that we could tell them. Specialty wise, do you think that we should make a list of kind of the types of things that Great Lakes Online Counseling wants to do and then have them kind of select from those instead of starting from scratch?
I think that would be a good idea. And I think from, previous experience on the website, you have your specialties page. And then
Yeah.
once Lakes, increases and grows, then you'll have the
Okay.
different specialties and the clinicians that provide those specialties.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can just start to give them kind of the types of specialties that we're looking for. States licensed in, yep, license information, their availability, contact info. If they, I don't think we need to have their social media links because we wouldn't really link to their own social media. Maybe we'd keep that on file. And then yeah, I think that's the only other thing. And then the HIPAA certification would just be them like signing off on the contract, so that would be included. So we could just have like just double check final contract. that has the HIPAA sign off on there. So, all right, cool. And then step 4, Headway onboarding. VA sends Headway onboarding instructions to clinician. I think we'll have to see if it's easier for kind of you to walk them through that. I'm guessing that's going to be easier than just kind of turning them
Yes.
loose on Headway. So I think we should probably just plan on that. And then website coordination with Tom uploading things, specialties, and then final setup, and get them live. No, that looks great.
Perfect. So I know you mentioned about like collecting the information, between step 2. So in that introductory meeting, obviously the VA, tells them what's needed from them, and then once that meeting's done, send an email to be like, "Hi there, lovely to meet you. Here are the few things we spoke about. Can you please have this within the next week?" So basically,
Yeah.
step 2 and 3 like tie into each other, but just step 2 is the introductory meeting.
Do you think it would save you time if we just said we want you to bring some of these things to your first meeting with the VA?
We could do that. It could work.
Yeah, because they could maybe even show you like 3 different photos and say, hey, we want you to bring 3 photos for Jen to look at, how much they kind of match the website. And then I think just in general to have less meetings for everyone, if we can just have them and less follow up, then we can just get them onboarded.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good.
And then in that meeting, you could schedule the next meeting to go over Headway with them.
Perfect.
Cool.
Okay. But I think that we've discussed pretty much everything. We just have a few action items to, finalize things. For an example, now that I know that the intake email address works, I can send that over to Tom and he can add that to the contact us on the website. Once I've received the information from Rachel, I can also send that over to Tom and get her on the website so people can start booking. I will book out a little time slot on your calendar to just make an introductory reel for yourself about yourself, so I can post on the social media pages. So just little steps to get the final product, there so that we can get the ball rolling.
Okay. Oh, and then the Google Voice, they hadn't listed South Africa on there, and then you said that that if we do the business plan, that it does include South Africa. Is that correct?
So I did, obviously, through Ubuntu, we help each other with resources and people that use
Yeah.
specific platforms. So we did have a bit of a discussion, and I did find out that the free version does exist, but it's obviously only for personal use. The starter plan is $10 a month,
Yeah.
and that can work from South Africa. You don't need a VPN. It will handle calls, SMSs. It can be used on my phone, on the desktop. So
Perfect.
yeah, I definitely think the $10 a month plan would be the way to go.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that on the $10 a month plan that was one that would work with you too. So I will get
Yes.
that set up as well. And then I think we're in the home stretch there.
Sounds good and looks good.
Cool. Well, yeah, I will work on that stuff, and then you and I can coordinate throughout the week in regards to just if there's other things that pop up. And yeah, this is awesome. Things are really coming together.
Looking forward to getting started officially.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, being that we're at the end of this episode, just want to talk a little bit about what we're continuing to do. So we continue to just move into starting Great Lakes Online Counseling. We couldn't do this show without our sponsors. If you are looking to grow your practice, we would love for you to try Alma. HelloAlma.com/Joe is a great place if you are a solo practitioner. If you want all-in-one EHR, scheduling, documentation, and day-to-day operations, Alma is great to use. So thank you so much for letting us into your ears and into your brain. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon. Special thanks to the band Silence is Sexy for that intro music, and this podcast is designed to provide accurate and authoritative information in regard to the subject matter covered. It is given with the understanding that neither the host, the producers, the publishers, or guests are rendering legal, accounting, clinical, or other professional information. If you want a professional, you should find one.